Stop! Hello, everybody.
Hello.
First off, well, this is part 2 of the things not to say to people with multiple endocrine neoplasia. Multiple. But we just wanted to say, like, a huge thank you to all of the feedback that we got from the last one. Like, we didn't expect it. I mean, it's nearly at 1,000 views, and we didn't expect so many people to kind of react positively to it. We kind of did it with a bit of trepidation.
Yeah, and it was really nice as well to kind of see all of the other people in our community online. That just we hadn't really experienced that kind of engagement before with other people who were like us. So
no, exactly.
That was
so it's really cool to hear from all of you in this part of things not to say to multiple people.
In part 2
of things not to say to people with multiple endocrine neoplasia, we are going to be taking the comments that have been provided by the lovely people, the commenters, and we'll be addressing them because it's easier to do yours than it is to think up more of our own.
Yeah, so, laziness really.
Laziness. Without further ado, let's get into it. We don't have a hat this week, by the way, because it's all digital.
Yeah,
so we're going to digitalise it.
Take it turns.
Yeah, we'll take it in turns, but we're going to digitalise it and put it up on the screen. If you read it out, I'll do it.
So our first one is, Emma says, "Are you gonna die?" I can't believe someone said this to her, but also I have had people say this to me.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
Because it's almost philosophical, as in, yes, we are all going to
die.
die.
Yeah.
But it's the inferring of,
we're gonna die
we
early.
think you're gonna die really early.
Yeah.
You should just look them dead in the eye. If anyone says this to you, just sit them down, really deadpan, and go, yes. And so are you. And then just walk away. No matter who they are. Or you can just say, no, I've discovered the fountain of youth. I've cured mortality.
I guess it depends in kind of what context they're asking. If they're asking is genuine care and like, are you going to die? Oh my gosh, please don't die. Then obviously you're like, no, of course I'm not, I'm fine. But if someone just says it like, are you going to die then?
Or if someone's
like,
are you going to die?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't think anyone would say that. If they do, cut them out of your life.
Yeah.
So, a question from someone very close to us. The last question kind of leads into this one of like, so how long do you have? Again, if it's in a philosophical way, wow, I could walk out into town tomorrow and get hit by a bus. Or that's always the one that people go to, is getting hit by a bus. I don't actually know anyone who's been killed by a bus.
I know someone who was. He wasn't killed though, he survived. But I know someone
Oh my
who
god,
was
what a warrior! What a trooper! So yeah, this one is just a little bit inappropriate.
Yeah, I think that people say it more when you tell them about, like, not the condition in itself, but if you tell them about a tumour you might have, then they're like, oh, so like...
Yeah, it just instantaneously, especially with...
death.
There's also another thing, I was going to say, people say it when you get cancer, if you get cancer, but there's a big debate going on about whether our condition should just be classed that you have cancer just because the tumours aren't necessarily spreading. I don't know, it's all a big thing.
I hope I get a disability badge if that does happen though.
Doesn't. I work in a library, it's incredibly hard to get a blue badge. It's nothing to do with what condition you have, it's mobility. That's literally it. Sorry to burst your bubble.
You should just go around and be like,
101.
oh.
Next one.
Tommy says, hope you get better after you've explained what it is. This is so infuriating, and I have had this a lot where people are like, well, I hope you feel better soon. It's like, well, yeah, I'll get better temporarily until the next thing happens.
I think it's the slightly mindless thing of not realising what a genetic condition is, and that you can't be cured for a genetic condition because it's in your genes.
It's like getting someone with a genetic condition like get well soon card, just like for the rest of their life. It's just not.
If someone wanted to do that though, just get well soon cards like every month. I would be well happy with that.
Yeah.
Committing to the mistake. Hope we get well soon, hope we get well soon. And just in the hope that some sort of genetic altering kind of
arises.
Yeah. But we've had that one before. Hope you get well soon.
Yep.
Ka-ting. I haven't worked out how to do little noises yet.
You've got sound effects though.
You?
You've done them. You've got.
Oh yeah, I have, but I can't find the one that does like a shiny tooth.
Ding.
Ka-ting. So this is the one from a lady called Vanessa who covered a lot of very good questions in her comment, but we're going to cover like 2 or 3 of them that
we felt like we could talk the most about.
The first one, which is one that really shows that they haven't had much of the the life experience is you're too young to be sick. Breaking down them barriers as if there isn't lots of very sick children. Great Ormond Street, for example, isn't there?
I just want to give a shout out to Great Ormond Street. I spent most of my, since when I was diagnosed to when I was 18, where I moved over to Barts, where Joel goes. Great Ormond Street was just the best hospital ever. The care was amazing. Shout out to my consultant, who was just the loveliest man I've ever met. They were just absolutely incredible with their care, and just, I love them. They're just so great. But full of lots of sick children.
Saying you're too young to be sick is a little bit of a weird, it's not even offensive, it's just a weird thing to say. I think it does come from their own, like, not being able to process it.
It's another one of those you don't really understand. So you're trying to say something along the lines of get well soon, like, I can't believe that would happen. And it all comes from a good place, but it comes to us from an annoying place.
The next one is there are people worse off than you. Again, this kind of goes back to what I said the last time, which you just degraded and said, no, it's not like that.
Yeah, I understand this as well, because obviously there are people who are in a very worse off position than us, and, you know, aren't as privileged, and in the grand scheme of things we do have very privileged lives, but equally, if we hadn't been diagnosed so young and we hadn't known about it, then we could have died from it, because you just don't know. You know, if Joel hadn't, then he would have died from his cancer. That could have happened to me years down the line too. So yes, we could be worse off than we are now, but also it could be a lot better.
Yeah, it
so
kind of,
it devalues the
it's
sincerity of the condition.
It's like if you, and I'm going to use another metaphor here, and if you say it's not like that, I'm going to cut you out again. But it's like if you break your leg and then someone says, at least you haven't lost your leg.
5 out of 10.
And the final one from Vanessa that we're going to cover.
Wait, can I say it?
No.
I didn't do any of Vanessa's.
Oh, that was the last one from Vanessa's. Sorry, you don't get to do another one from Vanessa.
And they do, absolutely. Brilliant.
The whole point, which I didn't read out, was there are people far worse off than you and they do absolutely fine, which again just goes into devaluing being, like, you're allowed to be upset.
It's all
and feel
relative.
rubbish.
It's all relative, you know.
That's my favourite saying. I love that
it's
saying.
all relative. You could meet someone who hasn't had any hardship in their life, and then you said this in your blog post about
the Rare Disease Day one. Go and check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, where, you know, it could be completely soul destroying and could completely ruin their life having this diagnosis if they'd had no kind of hardship before. Or, you know, it could be a 12-year-old girl and she's had loads of shit in her life just because that's the way life is, and she had this. Does that mean that it's less hard for her because she's gone through it before? And all of that kind of moral argument, and it all comes down, I think, to moral and ethics. But generally, if someone's going through anything that is, you know, not wonderful, just be kind. Yeah.
Just be kind.
Just give them a whole
Spread
hug
the
and
love.
chocolate or whatever. Gluten-free chocolate if you're Joel.
Yeah, non-diabetic chocolate if they're diabetic.
Yeah, not chocolate if they're allergic to.
Not chocolate if they're allergic to milk chocolate. You know, you just buy a gift that they want.
Or don't just give them a hug.
Or just give them a hug. Just to leave chocolate out of this. But the final, you can read this one out. I'll let you read this one out. This is the final point.
I'm going to fart on you in a minute. We're going to end on this point by Patricia, that says anything that people say is okay. It opens up conversations about our silent diseases, which is so apt and so true. And although we are making fun of what people say, at the end of the day, usually it comes from a place of care and concern.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell when someone's being overtly obtuse or being purposefully a knobhead. But I think most people just don't really know what to say, and most people aren't malicious or nasty. And I think it does usually just come from a place of wanting to help but not knowing what to say, not knowing how to help. And it sometimes comes out of a bit of a muddle, and they might go back after saying what they've said and being like, stupid. This is Hope's catch things.
Everybody caught that one from me. One time, I can't even remember what it was. I said something stupid and then Joel shut me down, and I was just like, Stupid.
Anyway, thank you for watching. That's the point we wanted to end on, because we wanted to kind of give the right feel to the video.
Spread the love. We don't want to be angry and bitter about our really annoying, life-threatening condition.
Sounds like someone's a little bit bitter. We just wanted to end on a bit of a positive, in that most people are very lovely and just might say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But it's our job as people with rare diseases is to inform people about our diseases, and people saying something a little bit stupid can sometimes break the ice. You can be like, haha, that's not right, but here is the facts.
And a great thing about M.E.N. and the charity organisation M.E.N. is that when we were first diagnosed and we felt completely alone and the only ones who had this thing, we attended one of the M.E.N. weekends for families and people who are affected by M.E.N. We met this whole community of people like us, young people and older people who had M.E.N. too, and that was just really lovely to meet other people who were like us, and you know, have inspiring people like Joe Gray, who are just basically kick-ass women with M.E.N. We're very fortunate in that we have a kind of growing community with M.E.N.
So if you do have M.E.N, go and check out the M.E.N's website, and if you have just a rare disease of some sort, go and check out Rare Disease Day. If you want to have some more stuff from me, then go and check out the thing that I wrote from Rare Disease Day.
On his face.
And the video, the accompanying video. Subscribe to me over Hope's face again, because that worked very well last time. And we will see you in the next one.
Yeah. Bye.